All right, it says I'm live, so I'm going to believe it. We'll see. Checking everything, seeing if I got anything muted, see if everything's working. Looking at myself in the reflection for the first time. Hello, Ethan. Hello, Jan. Hello, Jason. Hello, everybody. Come on in here. Pile in here. Push in. Push into the kingdom. This is the Bunker Nation Show. My name is Michael Bunker. I'm going to be your host for the evening. I hope this is working. Somebody let me know if the sound and the audio and the video and whatnot is working. And then we'll get going. Because until then, I can't do it. I don't know. Mr. Humdrum is here. Daniel Carr up in the People's Republic of Michigan. Hello, Hava. Good to see you out in Florida. Hello, Mike from Cheeseland, which would be Wisconsin, home of Kenosha. You guys come on in. Everybody pile in here. Type into the comment section and tell me where you are. And then we'll sound is check good. Everything's working. Video's working. I'm tired. As usual. See how tired I am? As usual, I got up at, actually about 3 o'clock. Hello, Nathan in Tucson. Nancy in the Pinelands of New Jersey. Got up at about 3 o'clock this morning. And I got out of bed about 3:30. And this was the first time that my beautiful wife, who now is home for good, praise the Lord, Lord willing, got up with me at 3:30 and went to the gym and worked out. It's a little tinny and echo-ish. Okay, well, that's just what you get. This ain't Rogan. This ain't Joe Rogan show. I don't got millions of dollars. I don't know why. That's probably this microphone. But I can't do anything about it. That's all I got. I'm working off solar power and some squirrels running in circles. Hopefully everything else is going okay. Hopefully you can hear me. Like I said, this is the Bunker Nation Show. My name is Michael Bunker. I'm going to be your host for the evening. I am the reasonable man here reasonably to man up and help you guys understand things that are going on in the world or answer your questions or talk about whatever you want to talk about. But first thing we got to do is we got to do this box thing, if I can find it. That's the reason everybody comes here is they want to see the box. I am blessed. You are correct, Mike. I'm blessed with a great wife. And so today could be possibly the last 100-degree day of the year. I hate to say that because it could not be as well, but it probably will be. We've had a run of about 4 or 5 days that were hot. So hot yesterday, about 107 or 108 yesterday, and I don't know, 100 plus today, just brutal hot. If you haven't noticed, I'm wearing, let me do this. My Ryan Bingham shirt. If you don't know Ryan Bingham, you should. If you listen to or watch Yellowstone, Ryan Bingham's the country singer guy who got beat up and then they branded him and whatnot. One of the great singers. He did this Crazy Heart, you know, and he's got this really gravelly, cool Texas voice, and he's pretty fantastic. I got this shirt for like $1.49 at the Goodwill, but I wanted to point it out. The reason I got it is that it's a little bit, I'm just saying, I'm going to leave it up to you. We're going to take votes right now. Is this a ripoff of the Bunker shirts, the Bunker logo? Let's take a look at it. It should be up here. Hold on. We'll start off. This is the logo up here, right? Tell you a little bit about the Bunker logo. And you see he's got his head with the hat, and it's black and white, and it's very Che Guevara, and it's got the single name. And if you look up here, right here, that's been my logo for about 5 years. My logo was actually designed to be a counterpoint, the opposite, or the alternative to the Che Guevara iconic image. Instead of having a Marxist murderer We thought we would say, hey, you can have a cool image of somebody who's not a Marxist murderer. And so then we came out with the black Bunker Nation t-shirt. Let me get you a bigger picture of this. Hold on a minute. And of course, it's got the nation on there, but it's the image, the black image with me with the hat with the bunker on there. I'm not saying it was ripped off. I'm not saying that Ryan Bingham or somebody involved with Ryan Bingham would just blatantly rip off the shirt. But I'm just saying they're pretty close. And so, and I know, Daniel, you're not saying that his is a better version than mine. I know you're not saying that. So I'm just saying I like Ryan Bingham. I like his music. I like him in Yellowstone. I like the whole deal. And so I got the shirt at Goodwill's for $1.49. Hope you guys enjoy it. But I want to know what you think. Write in the comments section whether you think that it's possible. Coincidences happen. But it's possible. I'm from Texas. We'll kind of run a little bit in the same. Hello, Bob, listening from Weatherford. So you're not in Fredericksburg. It's possible that they just came up with their own image and it just happened to be real close. And it has a name starting with a B under the picture with the hat and all that. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who are poo-pooing the cigar, my cigar is in this image. Let me see if I can find it here. You really can't see it. There's a cigar in the image. So I just want to know what you think. Write in the comment section whether you think possibly. I hate that you don't see all the comments too, Paul, but you guys are on Facebook, which is just kind of the free version. Hello, Sandy. You're kind of the free version of the show. It's free in all the platforms, but I actually get credit for it when you just take 14th of a second and go to YouTube and watch it over there. Hey, by the way, I want to let everybody know, we're going to do something real cool on Wednesday, and maybe every Wednesday. My good friend, country music sensation, Kayla Ray, does a live COVID kind of quarantine show, and on Wednesday night it's called something like whatever I want to do, or I do what I want to do Wednesday. And no, there's no such thing as coincidence. There is such thing as coincidence. Just means two things coincide. So yes, technically there's no such thing as random. So, anyways, Kayla Ray does this show. It's at 7 p.m., which is when I usually do my show. And I hated it because I'm doing my show at 7 p.m. and she's doing her show at 7 p.m. Her show is fantastic. Now, if you like classic country music, not just Texas music, not just the classics, not just, the people we all kind of grew up listening to and all of that, but she's a classic country music singer. And she's got a little Dolly Parton voice, and she's funny. She tells great stories and all that. Anyways, her show's on at 7, and my show's on at 7. She likes to watch my show, and I like to watch her show. So what we're going to start doing on this Wednesday is on Wednesday night, write it down right now. I will make sure you guys know about it. But there is, I'm going to do my show at 6 p.m. And we're going to call it I Do What I Want to Do Wednesday. And then my show is going to get over around 6:45, 6:50 is usually when I'm done. And I'm going to have a banner, and we're going to point everybody to her Facebook show, and you can go listen to it. You ought to listen to it live. If you've never had an opportunity as a young person to go see just one of the classic artists, that's who she is. And she does the live show. She takes requests. Fantastic storyteller. So be looking for that starting the day after tomorrow, Wednesday. And it's going to be called, together, the show is going to be called like I Do What I Want to Do. Wednesday night. And then I'm going to turn it over to Kayla, who's going to do what she wants to do. All right. Well, hello, Pat. Hello, War Dog Heim. Good to see you from the blue skies of Montana. Richard King says, I'm somewhere between Snyder, Texas, and Lubbock, driving and seeing you via Sky Magic technology. Well, I'm glad. I hope it's not as hot there. But I was just saying, I'm thinking today could be the last 100-degree day of the year. They are calling, we need rain so bad. I have actually been somewhat alerted about the probability or possibility of us having a major fire. And so we need rain bad. And so hopefully it's supposed to be 80% probability of rain tomorrow. Temperatures are supposed to get cooler. Within a week, we're supposed to be down in the 50s and 60s at nights, which is going to be fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to that. A lot of stuff going on in the news. But here's the thing. And I said in the title of this, being right all the time gets old. It's also not rewarding. There's no reward for being right. People think that there is, but that's because they're right so seldom that when they finally get to be right, people notice and they get some acclaim and some notoriety for it. Having been right for so long, for so much of the time, people don't even really want to pay attention because they're afraid of what I'm going to say. And they know when I say it that it's true, but their self-justification and all of that kicks in, and then they say, like, I don't want to listen to that guy. I told Danielle the other day, it's funny, like the last 3 or 4 days, I have not done a show because Danielle was in town. She got home Friday. She's been gone so long, and she's home, and I love it so much that she's home. So we've been hanging out, and I told her, I said, when I don't do a show, my subscriptions go up every day. I get subscriptions every day. When I do a show, I lose 3 or 4 people. It's hilarious because people's gut reaction when they hear somebody tell them the truth is like, screw that, unsubscribe. And so it's kind of funny. If they catch it later on, if they watch a video I did in March or April where I was telling them, listen, here's what's going to happen with the COVID thing. We're going to have this little thing. We're going to have shortages. We're going to have meat shortages. We're going to have toilet paper shortages. We're going to do this. And then it's going to kind of go away. We're all going to get comfortable. And then it's going to come back, and we're going to have riots in the streets, and we're going to have all these big problems going up to the election, possibly a civil war. And when I said that 5 months ago, they go watch that, and they're like, wow, this guy's amazing. He gets so many things right. So they're like, subscribe. Because it was back then, right? And so then people subscribe, and then they're like, oh, good, he's going to do a live show. And I get on there, and I tell them what's going to go on 5 months from now. And they're like, screw that guy. Boop. Delete. Unsubscribe. I hope I'm right about the 100-degree temperatures being over too, Paul. So, we need to talk a little bit about what's going on, because we basically are in a civil war. We're in it. It's just getting started. Talked a little bit about it on the last show, but we're in it. And I've mentioned over and over again, I don't see any way of backing out of it. Let me tell you how that was validated today. Not only have we had now murders on both sides, but the propaganda machine, especially the left who controls the propaganda machine, the mainstream propaganda machine, but the right too. The propaganda machine has been at work. Everybody now admits that we are heading towards a war. We're heading towards a civil war. Everybody admits it. Now they're just placing blame. For months, you were gaslit, and told there was no rioting. There's no rioting? What are you talking about? It's mostly peaceful. There's no violence. Yeah, there's some things going on, but it's mostly peaceful. Fiery, but mostly peaceful. Entire cities burning down. People getting murdered. Whole section of Seattle being taken over and run by a kingpin, drug kingpin. Murders going on. There's no violence. What are you talking about? And so then the polling started in the last week. And the polling showed that like 90% of the people don't want anything to do with what's going on as far as this violence goes on. They are not supportive of the cause of the rioters or the looters. It looks so bad that CNN people who were coming on the air and going, yeah, this is riots. It's definitely, we just looked again, you know, we cleaned off our monitors and we look at, you're right, it's riots, but you know what? Trump's at fault. So now the news story is, so I told my wife 2 days ago, before this came out, the first time I heard that Don Lemon at CNN said there were riots and that they needed to stop. I said, okay, now they're actually having to acknowledge riots. They're actually having to acknowledge that violence is actually going on and that there are people burning down people's businesses and entire cities are aflame, which they've denied for 5 months. And then I told my wife, I said, the minute they admit that there are actually riots, the minute that happens, now you have to frame who's at fault. And clearly it's Trump's fault. Doesn't matter if 5 months ago he was asking permission to send in troops and he was sending in something I was against. He was sending in federal officers to try to arrest people and try to mitigate the violence and try to stop it. All of a sudden, I got on Twitter this morning, and I get on left Twitter and I get on right Twitter. Hello, Leland. Good to see you. Good to see you, Nathan. I'll get to your question in just a minute. And as all of you know, I'm not a Trump supporter. I didn't vote for Trump. All I do is call it as I see it, and I call out both sides all the time. But all of a sudden, it came out, and it was like tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet that said, oh, there's violence going on. We just noticed. And it's obviously Trump who is calling for a civil war. It is Trump who's calling for violence, who's causing the rioting and the looting. And this does not sell well in the middle. Those of you who are on the left, if any of you are brave enough to watch some show outside of your bubble, which I seriously doubt, it does not sell well to have told people for 5 months there was no rioting, there was nothing going on. What they were seeing wasn't actually happening. And then they turn around 5 seconds later and go, "What? These are not the droids you're looking for." It's comical. And what happened is like 90% of the country now, even if they don't support Trump and they don't support the Republicans, which I don't, 90% of the country now is going, these people are freaking crazy. They are crazy. That's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. Because I honestly believe that a lot of people out there who are reasonable people just want people to look at them and look at this thing that's going on and to say, this is wrong. This is who is doing it. This has been Antifa since the beginning. Clearly, there are other groups on both sides that are involved. But this is an Antifa revolution. Antifa is the brown shirts of the people pulling the strings that are controlling the revolution. And so I wanted to start off by teaching you, as I do all of the time, a logic fallacy. I mentioned it the other day. I've mentioned it a couple times, but it's one we need to get into depth about. And it's called the definist fallacy. Definist fallacy, which is a fallacy in the definition of words. And it is most used today by the media in redefining words or framing situations using words that create an image that is false on its face, prima facie false. There's a lot of different ways that this fallacy presents itself, but it all comes back to this: framing a situation or an argument or a debate using a definition of a words or phrases that is not that which is typically understood by the people hearing the word. So you define a word. Let me give an example online of the definist fallacy. Is somebody saying, and I'm not just talking about definitions of the words, but giving a definition of an action or a thing that is not accurate. It can be accurate in a sense or in some sense that it's taken, but it's not accurate overall in the way that people understand it. So one of the arguments or the examples that's given online is if a teacher said that a hall pass is a way to avoid learning. This insinuates that anybody who gets a hall pass or asks for a hall pass is actively trying to avoid learning. And while it may be true that by getting a hall pass, you could be missing part of a class and therefore not learning during that moment, to say that the motivation of the person getting a hall pass is to avoid learning in itself is not true. And that's the image that the person who defined it in that way is trying to portray, and that image is false. This happens in the media all the time. I'll give you an example. One of the most famous headlines just recently over the last week was a picture of a burning city with the buildings and the cars and everything aflame, and the CNN Chiron or whatever you call it, saying fiery but mostly peaceful protests. This is a definition that, while technically it could be true in that if we froze the whole area so that nobody could move in or out, everybody was frozen in time, couldn't move, you could go through it. If there were 50,000 people involved in the protest, 49,000 of them might have been involved at that second in non-violent, peaceful behavior, walking, carrying a sign, etc. In every I'm trying to think of the right word. In everyone, this is a historical thing that's happened over and over and over again. This fomenting of revolution. In every event like this, whether it's Venezuela or even the United States during its founding, most of the people who show up on the green to protest the British coming and taking the guns from Williamsburg Armory are peaceful at the moment that it's before the shooting starts. So how they get away with it is that they will say, well, wait, what we meant is that most of the people that were involved were peaceful. That's not, first of all, it's not what you meant. And second of all, you knew what you meant to communicate. What you meant to do was obfuscate the fact that these are violent riots and people are losing their property and their lives because of it. To sit back after this has been going on for 100 days, and everybody knows who's involved, everybody knows that this is an organized crime syndicate that's doing this, and to go, well, Trump's causing this with his verbiage, with his tweets. It's ridiculous, and it's a lie, and it is the definist fallacy. And this is what's going on today, and this is why I'm saying that we can't back out of it. So what happened today is I got on left Twitter, and I decided to go down, and let me tell you something. I'm just as much against anybody on the right who is fomenting violence. In other words, I don't have a problem with somebody defending themselves. I don't have a problem with somebody having a gun and defending property, and when they get attacked, shooting somebody. No problem with it. Sorry, I'm nonviolent, but I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem with people that are going to these locations away from their own home state, in their home county, and their family who they are sworn to protect, to go to some city hoping for a violent conflict. If everybody would step back from that, we would be better off. All right. So that said, I go to left Twitter, and here's what I read. And one of them was Brian Stelter or whatever his name is, CNN. who was shocked to learn that outside of CNN and the bubble of CNN, Facebook and the other social media was peopled with some kind of creatures, humans, who actually look upon what's going on in these cities as an important story. He was shocked to learn, this is a CNN reporter, was shocked to learn that most of the people in the country outside of the CNN bubble believe that these riots and the looting should be being covered by the media, and they should be getting to the bottom of who it is not only that's doing it, but who's paying the people that are doing it, which the media refuses to do because they are the voice box for the same people. And then you go to the next tweet, and it's another blue check after blue check after blue check. Now, I want to stop right here. I'm going to zoom you back in time. We're going to get in my time machine. You're going to go with me back to November 9th, 2016, after Trump surprisingly won the election. And the stunned, completely brainless look on the face of everybody in the media, everybody they interviewed, everybody screaming in the streets and crying and yelling. How did this happen? How in the world could we have predicted a 97% landslide and she lost? How did it happen? We have got to fix this. We've got to fix what's wrong. And they're doing it again, and they're doing it 1,000 times worse. And they look you in the face because they don't know that you exist. This is what some of you don't understand. You think that the media is lying to you. The media is not lying to you. They don't even know you exist. They're talking to their 15 friends who go to the same restaurants as them. They're talking to their little circle of friends, the people who they think embody the opinion of the nation. And they look through their little cameras at their 15 friends and they say the things that they believe everybody believes because that's the only people that they ever check. I talked on here this show a couple of weeks ago, and I said they have never polled me and they've never polled you. They don't poll the countryside. They don't poll the flyover country. They don't poll the rednecks or the trailer parks. They don't poll the country people or the farmers. They don't poll the people who are out there who are working jobs at the oil fields and all of that. None of those people get polled. The pollsters use phones and they dial numbers that have landlines, which is generally apartments in New York City and New Jersey, California. Those are the people getting polled. So you wonder why the polls are always wrong. So they look through that camera lens and they think that everybody thinks like them. They're in their mind, they're the people that wrote the actual real post that said that looting was not a crime and shouldn't be a crime, especially if the people looting need the things they're stealing. Because it's not really a crime, it's not really violent, and it's really just the redistribution of wealth being done on a grassroots level. That really happened. And it went out there, and somebody comes up with a justification for crime and for bad behavior. And the minute they put it out there, everybody who's like-minded grabs it and says, that's right. He's right. All of those people have unfriended and unfollowed everybody that disagrees with them. They've gotten in the face of their grandmother and their parents and their cousins and their uncles who disagree with them. And so none of them ever talk. Everybody in their circle agrees with them. And so they actually think. Have you ever asked yourself, these women that have these meltdowns, complete, utter meltdowns, and we've talked about the Karen situation, why they think? Forget what you think. The problem with most of you today is that you cannot stop thinking what you think long enough to start thinking like someone else thinks. Have you ever, you look at some Karen having a meltdown and you go, she's insane, or she's just evil. You don't ask yourself, what did she think about herself and her society? This is not the Karen talk I've been promising. What does she think about herself and her society that made her truly believe that what she's doing was going to be embraced and applauded by everybody else around her? The lady who got on the phone and called the cops on the guy because she didn't want to have her dog on a leash, the black guy in Central Park, she did not think she was going to be a joke on social media. She didn't think she was going to be ostracized and lose her job. She thought she would be applauded. She lives in a world where her behavior, she believed, was going to be applauded. Now you take this same dementia, the same mental illness from people who never hear from anybody they disagree with. They never engage with anybody. They don't get on right Twitter. They don't get on left Twitter, whatever it is. Everybody that they talk to agrees with them. Everybody that they send things to goes, yeah, that's what it is. The only time they ever engage with an enemy, it's as an enemy. They look at him and they go, that person is evil. That person, they do the same thing you're doing. The same thing you do. These people actually believe that there was no violence going on in these riots. They believe that looting was not really that bad and it was just a tiny number of people. They've actually been told, hello, Danielle.
You're yelling.
Danielle just showed up and told me quit yelling. They actually believe that there would have been no violence at these rallies. There would have been no looting, except some Trump people showed up. And so what you end up with is this mental illness, and it's on both sides, but right now we're seeing it completely take over and manifest the left. How am I supposed to do this show when Danielle's over there popping a top on a cold one?
You're such a tattletale.
Hey, everybody, say hi to Danielle. She's here. You want to come say hi?
Hi.
All right. And so these people are so blinded. They're so in their little bubble. They don't think like you. They don't think they're wrong. What is it wrong with you that you think that they think that everybody's against them or something? They think everybody agrees with them. They think they're the majority. So going back to why not only are we already in a civil war, but it's going to be amplified and multiplied unless something intervenes, which I don't know what it would be. Everybody's saying howdy. Is that you can't live in a bubble of dementia, a bubble of mental illness, and then have something happen that is unexplainable, especially when the explanation for it is already being given to you. You can't lose unless they cheated. Does this not remind you of every bully on every playground that you grew up on? Whose parents have always told them they're the smartest and they're the brightest and they should never lose. And then they lose and they get angry, they get violent, they deny, they change the rules. Had a guy I ran in same circles with some years, 20 years ago. And this was his MO. And he would come up with a game, 4 or 5 of us playing. He would start losing, and he would immediately, vocally, openly change the rules. And if nobody agreed with him to change the rules, he would quit. And he would say that everybody else was cheating. And this happened over and over and over again. A narcissistic sociopath. Well, America is a narcissistic sociopath engine. And they've produced people who are already being told that if they lose the election, it's because the other side stole it, and it's never going to happen again, and they need to go to war. So everybody's saying hello, Danielle.
Hello.
She's not having a shiner, but I'm not going to give out. She already got onto me for tattletaling, so I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Helps you cope with the heat.
All right, everybody, I'm here for you. If you got a question or comment or something you want to talk about, I'm trying to keep my focus on while Danielle's going through my desk.
No, I'm just getting my exercise mat.
If you haven't hit the like button, as Chuck says, smash the like button. The best thing you can do, thank you, Hava, for that super sticker. We need it absolutely to be able to pay the bills on the Infernal Net. Appreciate that. If you haven't hit the like button, do so, but we really, really need all of you to scoot on over to YouTube. It takes a 14th of a second. Type in Michael Bunker, go to my channel, and hit subscribe. Go to this video, hit like. After the video is over, leave a comment. And so here's what we're going to do. I already told you about. If you just got here, you missed it. She said the super sticker is for my wife.
Aw. Knew it. No, I mean.
What? Oh, yeah. All right. So I have some work to do to be able to get the bunker, not the Bingham, but the bunker shirts back available. And I'm going to do that. And I already told you about Wednesday night. We're having I do what I want to do Wednesday. 6 p.m. Wednesday. You guys write it down. We're going to do a live show on Wednesday night. I'm getting distracted. We're doing a live show on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. And it's going to be called I Do What I Want to Do Wednesday. And it's going to lead right into Kayla Ray, who's one of my favorite country singers. And she's going to be doing I Do What I Want to Do Wednesday singing, which is a wonderful show. Thank you, War Dog Heim, for the super chat, because Danielle needs some happiness. She appreciates it, and I appreciate it. It's certainly how we pay the bills around here. If you guys didn't know how to do it and you're on YouTube, right there below the comment section, there's a little $sign. You can click on that thing, and you can do a super chat, or you can do a super sticker. So here's where we are. We're if you were listening to me 5 years ago too, I was right. 5 months ago, I told you exactly what was going to happen and in what order. I told you what products were going to be hard to get and what you should be buying. Good night, Sandy. I told you that we were going to go through a little respite. Things were going to seem to be getting back to normal, and that we were going to go back into it again. And that most likely we were going to have violence in the streets because of the election. Here we are. So this group, it's actually a Canadian terrorist organization, has announced that starting September 17th, they're going to do a 50-day siege on the White House. That is not going to go as well as they think it's going to go. I only bring it up to tell you that things are going to get worse. And I'm right 99.6% of the time. Hello, thank you, XX the Yeti 1XX, for that. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for it. That's how we keep the show going, and it's always a great blessing. Anybody helps us keep the show going, because I do it all for free. And then just hope. We put out the hat, and we say, hey, if you guys can help. Our fundraiser can be found at michaelbunker.com/fundraiser. But I appreciate you guys. Hello, Donna. I forgot to say hi. Anybody else? Frank Griffin, good to see you. Everybody, Danielle says hi. We're going to be going into some rough times. It's probably not going to get better. I would give you a percentage. If I could see 1% possibility of us getting out of it, I would tell you that, but I don't. Doesn't mean it can't happen. There are things that can happen that I don't foresee. I can tell you a little bit about my time travels, but I can't tell you everything, or the time travel cops will come do it. But anybody that wants to can go back to late March of this show, and they can listen to me every night. Something's going to happen, what you need to prepare for, how you need to prepare, and what you need to do. And it's all happening, and I get tired of saying I was right. All right, everybody, I got about 4 minutes. If you got a question or comment, it doesn't have to be about this. It doesn't have to be about preparedness. It doesn't have to be about survival. 2 things for which I am an expert. Can be about anything you want to talk about. I'm going to take a drink of my sparkling water while you guys type in a question or a comment or a topic. Anything you want to talk about. You can talk about my swell Ryan Bingham shirt. Go listen to Ryan Bingham. Go follow Kayla Ray on Facebook, on Instagram, Kayla Ray Music on Instagram, and make sure you're set up to listen to her live stream Wednesday night, 7 p.m. I'll be here at 6 p.m. and we'll kick it off. I do what I want to do Wednesday. And drink your sparkling waters because it's good for you. All right. I hope everybody's glad that Danielle's back. Danielle's back from the COVID front lines where she was working at a COVID lab for a lot of months, 6 months. And she's back for good. And so that doesn't mean she's not still going to be on the front lines, because she is. Talk more about what she's going to be doing, but she's home, which I am very grateful for. She's a frontline warrior and has been doing her bit. I'm hoping everybody out there is going to be kind of paying attention over the next 70 days, because at some point it's very likely we're going to probably lose some contact with one another in some form or fashion. Maybe not, but maybe, just because things are going to get ugly. I hope you're preparing. I hope you're doing the things you ought to do. I'm not seeing any new comments or questions, but let me scroll down and see if I'm missing anything. Thank you, Mike Bravo, for the super sticker. And my hair looks nice. Do I use conditioner? Right now, my conditioner is Sweat. I did use conditioner, but that was Sunday. What is today? Monday night? See, my days are different than yours because I wake up at 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. Paul Whitaker, sparkling water is better than regular water in 2 different ways. Number one, it causes you to want to drink more of it because it's got a slight taste, whether it's lime or orange or strawberry. It gives you the essence. A lot of taste is actually the essence, the smell. And so you get the smell of strawberries or watermelon or whatever flavor you get, and it causes you to drink more of it. You generally don't drink enough water. Every one of you out there is dehydrated. Every one of you. If you're not dehydrated, you're 1 out of 1,000. And it causes you to drink more, but it also causes you to feel fuller because of the carbonation effect, which makes you not want to sit there and snack all the time. And the third, possibly third, is that generally they have a low amount of sodium, which allows you to retain more water rather than, and it replaces some of the sodium that you're peeing out when it's 104 degrees. All of that means that you're going to drink more of it, and that's good. Do your super stickers and super chats go towards, where did it go? Go towards your fundraiser. If not, I'll send money another way. They do not go towards the fundraiser. The super stickers and super chats take about 4 to 6 weeks to get to me. I still appreciate them. It is a form of paying for this show. And so what I do is that money goes to pay for the StreamYard, which is the fancy stuff I got going on the screen and being able to broadcast and all that kind of stuff. It goes for my website maintenance and email maintenance and all that kind of stuff. The fundraiser,
And some chocolate.
And some chocolate for my wife. The fundraiser, which you can find at michaelbunker.com/fundraiser, is, and let me see if I've got a banner for that. I might. There it is. If you go to michaelbunker.com/fundraiser, that money goes towards our infrastructure, which is helping us get our solar panels, solar batteries, all that kind of stuff, the stuff we need around the farm to make sure that we get to have power to keep doing this. All right, y'all. I got a few more comments to go through, and then we're going to head out. It's more hydration, oxygenation than one usually feels it. Paul, Hava's right. I drank over a gallon of plain old water today. Well, you did good. You did good. Keep that up. War Dog Hunt says I'd rather drink my well water. Me too. And I drink at least a half gallon of it a day. You're halfway there. Rainwater is awesome. Well water can be awesome too, depending on where you live. All right, y'all, I got to go. I appreciate everybody tuning in. As always, God bless you all. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sharing. I appreciate you waiting 10 minutes and going to YouTube, going down to the comment section, leaving a comment, subscribing. We need more subscribers and all of that. This show is on fairly regularly, 3 to 5 times a week. Lord willing, I'll see you soon. Should you filter your rainwater? That's totally up to you. You might want to get your water tested. That's up to you. But if you live out in the country and you're more than, 10, 15 miles away from a major city, you probably don't need to filter your rainwater. But it's totally up to you. All right, everybody. God bless you. Lord willing, I'll see you again maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I don't know. But we'll see you when I see you. I appreciate you being here.